Hello and welcome to the second edition of the Truthseeker Music Podcast. This particular episode is about our albums of the year, so we're going to be discussing the top 10 picks and 5 honourable mentions for each of the members of Truthseeker. We'll also be kind of chatting a bit willy-nilly about like our favourite songs, our favourite gig, biggest disappointment, and what the future holds for Truthseeker. So, let's go. I suppose we should start getting podcasting. So the way I'm going to initiate is by starting Truthskate. I actually bought a game on my fucking...
That's the game that Phil was playing non-stop on tour.
Yep.
Fez.
Are we recording? I just said Truthskate.
Truthskate?
Fez.
Oh mate, my relationship at the time suffered massively.
Because of Truthskate?
No, yeah, because I played it all the time. And like, it's just all you do is just play that game.
Don't pay attention to me.
So all I did was play that game where you played Kardashians.
All the real anger's pouring out. Pouring out.
Do I need to organise mine into what I think's the best album?
No, do what you want.
Okay, well this is sick.
This is the shit. Look, I know that I'm going to be the metal guy on this one.
Shall we?
It's guaranteed.
Shall we start off?
Yeah.
You ready? You ready?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
What do you want me to do?
Oh, pop shove it. Oh.
Shall we? Steve's got to stop playing that first.
Yep. All right.
How do you want to start? Do you want to go with honourable mentions first, and then we'll?
Well, are we literally going to reel off a list?
Let's do the best.
Are we going to talk about each one a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you should stop editing your list and just.
No, it's right. Okay. Right. No.
All right. Okay.
These are my top 10.
No, don't do the top 10.
What?
We're going to do honourable mentions first.
That makes no sense.
Of course it does.
No, you just do the thing, and then these are the ones that could have made the cut but didn't.
Give us your first one. Tell us about it.
Okay, my first favourite album of 2016 is Radiohead, A Moonshaped Pool.
Who the fuck are they?
Starting strong.
You see that didn't even make it in my list.
You are having a laugh.
I was so optimistic about that, but I felt like every single song they didn't push it far enough. It felt like they needed to ramp it up just one more notch for it to sort of really kick in, and they just every track
Brows raised from short.
Oh, each their own, isn't it?
I mean, the things I kind of agree. I do agree. I definitely think Full Stop. That just needed to kick in that little bit more. It's still probably my favourite song on the album, but just that song especially just should have kicked in that little bit more, I felt.
I think that's easily their best album they've done in years.
I will say this much: one of my favourite songs of the year is "Burn the Witch."
Oh,
That is what a brilliant first song. Like again, just I can't really think of many songs where they've got like a pop song essentially, which is like got staccato strings and electronic beat.
Yeah. Which is the strings. They're 13 violins played with a guitar plectrum.
Really?
That's why they're so picky.
13 violins at once played with one guitar plectrum.
No.
One long stroke. It's like fucking hell.
No, I think I love it. It's very warm sounding record.
Don't get me wrong, I love it.
I think one of the other things that stopped me from really loving it as much as I felt like I was going to, I think the track listing, like the order of the songs, was weird. Like,
you mean like it loses momentum and then gains momentum?
Yeah, first song really strong.
Yeah, and then
Daydream. Immediately like a really like slow, placid song.
Yeah.
And then a couple more, and then again like a really slow one. And it just felt like it was like stop-start way too much, and I wanted it to.
Radiohead kind of are a bit of a band who have, I'm trying to remember I'm useless with names, but like they have a kind of couple of albums where it kind of goes. The second song is a bit weird or not as rocking or whatever.
It could be very intentional on their part. You never know.
It's clear that
alphabeticalised, isn't it? Like every track is.
Yeah.
It's clear the strings.
It's made my list. It's made my list because me as a huge Radiohead fanboy, I was sat right there actually in a bean bag.
Right there is the middle of Philip's room, by the way.
Maybe slightly intoxicated, and I listened to it with Six Music. It was just like they did a listening party, and I was on cloud nine. I couldn't believe it. It was so good. And it stuck with me, and I've listened to it easily the most out of all these albums.
It's a good album. It's not their best album in my opinion. It's clearly an album where the strings, like his all,
yeah, the arrangements are incredible.
I can never remember his name. What's his name?
Greenwood,
yeah. His orchestration or composition and the arrangements, top notch, and it's very beautiful. It's got some really beautiful moments. It's got some really sincere moments, but it just never really kicks in hard. And it almost like, if anything, Burn the Witch is the one which kicks in hardest, and it's the first song, and you're done.
Yeah.
It's not Kid A, but then again, you're not going to get Kid A many times. And do you really want Kid A again?
I think it stands alone as a great album.
I did enjoy it, but...
Do you think it would be standalone as a good final album, though?
I'd be happy with that. I'm just comparing everything to King of Limbs, because that was the most underwhelming one. And it shits all over that one.
Okay, fair enough.
Sorry, that's just a really bad way of seeing it out. Yeah, it shits all over that one.
Well, no, like King of Limbs, like that one was like very divisive. I remember. I always liked it, but
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
it's fucking weird.
But we're not reviewing King of Limbs.
Well, right, Alexio, do you want to go next or shall I go next?
I'll go next. I'm the only one that's put mine in order of like 1 to 10. Everyone else just...
Well, I know my favourite. I know my favourite.
Yeah, okay. So I'll do my number 10, which is Touché Amoré Stage 4. Did you listen to that?
I've been really bad this year, to be honest, because it's just been, I wanted to listen to fucking horrible,
Best podcast
grim
ever.
Yeah.
I did, nah.
But it's really funny considering, like, Touché Amoré, like the band almost kind of started Human Future off. I've kind of forgotten about them, to be honest.
Yeah, for me, just didn't really care about Is Survived By. Stage 4
Is a comeback.
I don't know.
Don't call it comeback.
No.
It's this one went in and out of my top 10 when I was compiling my list, because there's moments where I don't absolutely love it, but there's just something about it. I think just with the lyrics and how it ends. I don't. Yeah,
Is this the one where it's Stage 4 because it's about his mum's death or something like that?
Yeah, and it's got a little bit at the end of the record where every time I listen to it, I just can't put anything else on for about 5 to 10 minutes afterwards. I just have to sit in silence because it just really like strikes a chord with me, just how it ends. And
considering like 2015 for me, I should probably give it a listen, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
It could be one of them that you shouldn't listen to.
Yeah.
You should. Yeah.
You should. But it's it's one of the records that's kind of affected me most, but
Because of the sincerity?
yeah. And I as I say, it's gone in and out of my list, but just for that alone it's made it in there.
But it's lost your attention, it's gone as your attention again, or it's kind of just made you feel different emotions, like negative and positive. What?
Some of the songs don't grab me anywhere near as much as stuff they've done in the past, but
Is it still like kind of like the short burst, energetic, or has it kind of gone a bit more singer-songwriter? Well, not singer-songwriter, but you know.
It's they're
because they seem to be moving. They seem to be moving in a far more like indie sort of way.
It's definitely less punk, but you've not listened to it, so just listen to it.
Fair enough. Phil, you heard it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought it was much better than the previous effort.
It's Survived By.
Yeah.
Has his throat actually like given out yet? Like it always sounds like it's on its last legs, and that's kind of the appeal of his vocals.
He does some actual singing in this record,
Beautiful.
which works for me.
Like, is he actually capable? Really? Is it like the sort of thing where it sounds like trying to sing but he can't really do it, sort of thing, or is it actually like he's genuinely got something in there?
It's not singing as a pop song would have you.
But it
understand.
works.
Yeah, it works.
Fair enough.
Go on, Steve. Give us yours.
Right. Well, how should I start? Where should I start? Because again, I could start with my favourite.
No, I'm saving mine to the end. So.
But the thing is, it's at the top of my list, so I'm going to get well confused. I'm going to start at the bottom of my list and go with the curveball, which isn't curveball for me as such. I've liked the guys for a while. Nick Birch, or Birch, It's like some Swiss dude with like it's an umlaut over the A, so it's Nick Borch.
I love
the
how,
Mobile.
I love how Steve, whenever he's confronted with a foreign word, just does the most absurd accent for it.
Oh, wait,
say it as an Englishman. Go on.
Nick Bosch.
Right. Okay. Now I understand who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So it's like Nick Birch. I'm pretty sure that's how he pronounced it. Nick Birch's Mobile Continuum. Basically, they're like a Zen jazz band, as he puts it. For like, just I guess, more legitimate terms, it's minimalist jazz. It's very kind of atmospheric, very hypnotic, and with some other things on my list, it kind of borrows or shares the ground with like krautrock in that it's got that motoric sort of. It's not motoric as such because it's very rhythmically driven, but not in the motoric like 4/4 constantly churning sort of sense. It's a bit more polyrhythmic, polymeters, all sorts of weird like dissonance. It's very jazzy, but then also at times it goes into just kind of music concrete where there's prepared instruments and all sorts of things going on. There's orchestration involved. There's an additional percussionist in the band, which always seals the deal for me. I love additional percussion. And it's a unit where Nick Borch and Kasper Rost, who is the drummer, who's also in like Shekels, Far Shekels, I can't remember, some other band. They have been, you can tell they've been playing together for years and years and years because they just lock in so well. And it's one of these things where less is often more. I like that. It's just been me talking for like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
there's no questions to ask, is there?
No, I don't know anything about it.
Exactly.
I feel that I might not have heard most of yours, but
well, I've definitely paid you, Nick, blokey boy.
oh, okay.
And you, one day you were like, "Fuck this! I'm not up for this. Like, not in the mood." And then one day you were well up for it. And he looks like Ming the Merciless.
I'm sold.
Yeah, yeah. He basically looks like he could be my cousin, like my Swiss hipster cousin. Seems like a lovely guy, and the album is insane. Like,
what was it called again?
Continuum.
Continuum.
Should we do a Spotify playlist?
It's a good album by John Mayer as well. Continuum.
You just typed in Continuum on Spotify.
Right. Shall I continue?
Again, like
Yeah, go on, Phil.
Well, no. To finish off, like one of the influences on the last Human Future track, how that kind of gets a bit polymetric or polyrhythmic, whatever. In the percussion section, that's kind of inspired.
Okay.
Well, inspired by that sort of stuff.
Top bloke.
Top.
Well, I'm going to try and keep these concise and.
Oh, what? Like, who's not being concise?
Right, my second choice is King Gizzard, the Lizard Wizard.
I think I could
Real
die
bands.
happy now.
Real band.
How do you find those?
Say that
bands?
again.
King Gizzard, the Lizard Wizard.
Of course. The Lizard Wizard. Is the Lizard Wizard the name of the record? And it's by King Gizzard.
It's by King Gizzard and the Wizard Lizard. So
Right.
it's at the end.
Right, and what's the name of the record?
Lizard Wizard. Nonagon Infinity.
Way! Is
Yeah.
that? I actually trust that's what it's called.
Sorry? That is what it's called.
But it's like
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Honestly,
I don't want to know anything more about it.
it's like the most intense punky psychedelic rock. It's like Iggy Pop and the Stooges mixed with I don't know, like intense psych, I guess. Like it's well, the obvious comparison is going to be the OCs, but it was between like I was torn whether I should pick the OCs or King Gizzard, the Lizard Wizard, because they're so similar. But for me, thematically, I chose this album just because the title suggests that it's infinite, and it is. It's from start to finish. It's a complete loop.
All right.
Okay, so you could listen to it first and think, oh fuck me, that ended really abruptly. But in fact, if it was a constant loop, you wouldn't notice.
How would you even set up a constant loop of that though? Can you actually do that? Like
Yeah,
on
well
your
now
vinyl?
digital media.
Oh, I mean, like, is it on vinyl? Like that you can do that as well.
No, you can't do it in vinyl.
Boom. Waste of time.
But
Terrible album. What's
it's
this?
cool though because it's got the aesthetics of like an album from the 70s. When you look at it, you think, oh, this could have been a progressive rock album from the 70s. But then you've also now with digital technology, we have the option of looping stuff, and I would recommend listening to it in a loop because you wouldn't know that it even went round once and this started.
I was gonna say, it's that sort of thing where you can't get lost in it.
But like for me, like as a theme, I was immediately drawn to that, and it's relentless.
How the fuck do you even find these bands?
That's a really common big band.
I've never even heard of them.
They're a really big deal.
Is this something you found at Festival or something?
Steve, how have you heard of Nick Watt?
Yeah.
I can actually tell you why, because I read an interview by Hal Sinden, I do believe it was, of Talanas, and he just mentioned, I've been listening to Nick and
yeah, it's really fast paced, and it doesn't really let up, and it's 40 minutes long, and I enjoy it very much.
All right. Speaking of fast paced, unrelenting.
Yep.
Let It Die. You listen to it?
I listened like once through.
Not feeling it?
No, I thought it was fine. Like again, it's like clearly didn't grab me as much as you guys, but I was into it.
I haven't heard it.
Oh, right, okay.
The album artwork looks a lot like the Radiohead artwork.
It actually, I kind of see what you mean in a way.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
So basically, they're just.
I liked it in that sense.
Yeah, for me, it was. I was like sort of a little bit torn between that, the Trap Them record, and the Nails record. But I think because Let It Die's only just come out, it's kind of freshest for me. That's why it's ended up in my list.
It's fucking brutal, wasn't it?
For me, the selling point, all you need to listen to, track number 2, 100. Have a look at it now. 100 years, I think it's called, or 100 something.
I've already demonstrated. I don't know songwriter titles. What are you looking back at me?
And from 17 seconds to 22 seconds, just that.
Yeah.
Every time I've listened to it, I just have to stop, rewind, listen to it again, stop, rewind, listen to it again. It is fucking mental. Put it on now.
Does it bring the mosh on in the car?
It causes car crashes.
Oh!
I bet that's what the woman behind me was listening to today.
Smash! Oh no! Whiplash!
On Spotify.
Well, what
No,
do you
of course
expect?
they're not on
Let It
Spotify.
Die?
They're too punk for Spotify.
Sorry, mate.
Track 2, it's called 100 Days. Just 17 seconds. Get ready for it. Here it comes. Just that! Yeah, that ticks all my boxes.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal to be honest.
Yeah, so anyway, that's my number 9, and well worth the wait. Good guest solo from
Number
Sammy
8.
Irwin.
Which track was the solo on again?
It's like track 5 or something like that. Yeah, it's just
That boy's a fucking machine.
he's ridiculous, isn't he?
He's great.
Numero
We should put out something that he does.
Yeah, we should probably. Yeah, you should probably put out something that he does. That'll be funny. My number 9 choice is that French unit, Aluk Todolo. Voix, which I do believe is French for voice or voices or something like that. Basically, there's some French like the way I think of them is like satanic krautrock. That's probably like the way I like thinking of them. It essentially is like the
Sounds
most.
really like you.
Well, they have like satanic kraut. Like
That's your new OkCupid profile.
Oh, sick. However, like it's just constantly churning, just loads of energy, and it's something that you can easily get lost in. You can just, it's very hypnotic, and I find it very good for thinking. Very good thinking music. It's almost like an ambient album, but it is just intense noise rock of sorts. A band I would love to play live with. A band I'd love to release if we could, but you know.
Are they big or?
They're not really big. Sophie, I know Sophie. You're Not Human, like Sophie. No, I can't remember what her name is, but like she was putting them on a lot in the UK, and beyond that, like that's the only like major tours I've known them to do. They played Roadburn, so they're prominent enough. They caught some people's eyes, and for good reason. It's definitely something I'm into. It's just like, again, it ticks, as you said, it ticks the boxes. It has this kind of unnerving atmosphere, but the drum, like, with my drums, I love just drums that just constantly keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, pound, pound, pound. And yeah, does the job. Sick bass as well.
Nice.
It's instrumental. There's no vocals, so that's another thing. So if you don't like instrumental bands, fuck off.
So how do they get their sort of satanic edge across? Is it just from
'Cause it's just
artwork?
like, well, yeah, like it's incredibly dark artwork. When I saw them live, it was just all like near pitch black sort of thing. And you listen to the noise, it is just like it can be pretty fucking like if you were like just wearing headphones and you're in the dark and you're just like watching anime or something. I don't know, like your little nerd, and you're like going, oh, I'm listening to Electrodolo as well. Oh god, it's scary. That's what it's like.
Okay, good. Phil?
Right. Number 3, I've gone with David Bowie, Blackstar.
Nice.
Just because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
It was
Fucking weird, wasn't it?
weird. Yeah, the first time I heard it, I couldn't believe it because it was such a departure from the next day. And then a couple of days later, after I heard it, pops his clogs, doesn't he?
Pops his clogs.
So and then it made much more sense after he died, and I think in that retrospect, fucking great one, nice one. That's who does that. The only person,
Nice one, well done.
only
Good
other
night.
person who's
Good death.
done that and baffled me is Jay Dilla. Jay Dilla wrote an album, died.
Knowing he was dying.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, grim. That is such a... Because that's
This
again...
is 10 years previous to Blackstar, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't listen to it until I think Imagine, along with many people,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
the day he died, I got to work and just listened to a bunch of Bowie records.
But I can imagine that's maybe a bit more of an intense way to listen to it, as opposed to there's a new Bowie album, let's listen to it.
Yeah.
He's just fucking died. Like the most influential figure in musical history is dead. Let's listen to his new album.
Do you really think he is the most influential? He's definitely, like, he's huge, because he's kind of like, in a way, normalised, I guess, transvestitism.
Yeah,
and,
like, not even in music,
certain
just
sexuality
fashion.
as well.
Yeah, fashion,
crazy.
entertainment.
Also, just like listening to him talk and opine on certain subjects, sometimes it's just like he could put it in very plain English as well, but like you could hear profound intellect within him. So
yeah,
like Blackstar, it's not on my list, but I enjoyed it.
It was a no-brainer for me. Top lad.
I think for me there was one or two songs that I think "'Tis a Pity She," the late.
Yeah.
"'Tis a Pity She Was a Whore."
The second track, yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
really-
that one.
Gets really intense and jammy at the end.
Did that trigger you?
I was really triggered by it.
In that song though, the best bit is midpoint. At the peak of the jam, he just goes, "Oh!"
Ideal.
Yeah, best bit of the album.
Nice.
Yeah, I just thought I'd put it in there, just because I liked it.
Yeah.
For an hour.
And farewell, Bowie.
Cheers, mate. Actually, carrying on that theme, people that have died. My next one is Tribe Called Quest.
Oh fuck yeah, shit.
Rest in peace, Fife.
Yeah.
Valve dog.
It was good, wasn't it?
It's really. Have you listened to it?
Yeah, I loved it.
It's really good.
I was really worried.
I was under the impression that it was like sort of hastily put together as like sort of an afterthought, sort of, you know, some B-side or something. I didn't realise until I basically saw they played on SNL and I watched that and then I was like, oh, I should really listen to this record now. And then I sort of read about it and realised, oh shit, they were recording it when he died. So then I was like, all right.
Yeah, he's on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, just great.
Yeah, he's on the record, but he doesn't bother showing up for shows.
Yeah.
Rubbish.
Part-timer.
Lazy.
I was
no dedication.
I was hesitant because when I saw the track listing, I noticed there were a lot of guests.
Yeah, that's something that I don't really like usually.
Yeah, but on this occasion, I thought it.
That
brought it
one,
out.
that's track with Elton John on.
Yeah.
Is fucking sick.
The
Wall
one with
of-
Jack White as well. That's jammy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it like Wall of Sound or Wall of Noise? I forgot what they call it, but it's like track 4, I think. Is sick.
Yeah. And it sounds very much like a Tribe Called Quest album.
Yeah, that's kind of like, I've only listened once through, and I was kind of worried they would do the thing of like, yeah, let's keep it modern. Like, for some things, I really think you do need to do that, but like, it'd have been a bit weird if Tribe Called Quest went like a completely
I'd
different
hate it,
direction.
yeah.
But I think their sound has aged much better than a lot of other groups anyway. So
Well, I'm just far more interested in, like, I guess their old record, like that type of hip hop, the kind of way it samples jazz and funk sort of stuff, as opposed to like
Q-Tip
the kind of
is the boy.
Yeah, Q-Tip's tone is. I love the sound of his voice.
Yeah.
It's just like he could just fucking read the phone book and it'd just sound good.
Yeah. So I've been listening to that a lot this past month. I think it's really good.
Well, continuing on the theme of people who've died, Necro Death Mort.
Rest in peace, AJ.
Yeah, rest in peace, AJ. / no, just death in it. Like Necro Death Mort's album, The Capsule. Now I know I'm their fucking numero uno fanboy, #1 man of the world, and like they've done it again. They have done it again. They've kind of. It's still a very doomy sound, but it's minus the doom.
Is it an album or an EP? This one?
No, this is The Capsule. Their next album. It's like it's not EP 1, 2, 3 or volume.
Right.
It's I can actually give you a little bit of a probably slightly inaccurate understanding of why it's called The Capsule. Simply put, like AJ and Matt kind of were either writing something that they thought would be cool to put into a time capsule, and to be discovered in the future, or like what they wanted to be their sound, like thought their sound at that time would be good to kind of capture, and it's like their own time capsule in an album. And it's like with all their albums, they always cover a lot of different styles, different genres. And in my opinion, they merge them really coherently, and that's part of why I've come so obsessed with them. And this album, it's very much more. It's a bit more of a less is more approach. It's very, very synthy, very, very noise based. As the percussion takes a backseat big time. Apart from in the song "In Waves," which is basically just about getting fucked up on drugs.
So I'd love it.
Highbrow, yeah. Like it's going to go great with all the vegan straight edges, and they cover that sort of territory. AJ is very influenced by Autechre, and like that's a big influence for me electronically. So a lot of the time, I can always kind of feel that influence in what they do, and they're getting more krautrock, they're getting more synth pop, they're getting more this, that, further away from sludge, whilst also maintaining the heaviness and the intensity. So I'm digging it, still digging it.
Nice.
It's their first record on the Rocket, or Rocket Recordings.
Record.
Brilliant label. Yeah. Like their stuff.
Yes,
Goat
the band, yeah.
Genomes.
Oh, really? They were released on that?
Yeah, that's how I found out about Rocket.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah, and I want to say Nod.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil was banging on about that label to me earlier this year, and then like a week later, Necro Death Mort announced they were releasing that record.
Solid
I was like,
label move.
Yeah,
nice one.
Yeah, good label.
Rocket Recordings, took a brave step by signing Necro Death Mort for this record, and I think it paid off. It may not have resulted in mass sales, but like it's a strong artistic statement. I feel it's a very solid album, and even if they weren't like my mates, I would absolutely have it on there because it really ticks my boxes.
Nice. Phil?
Yeah. So we're on 4, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, this is convenient. Bad, Not Good, 4.
Oh, all right, okay.
Yeah.
I checked this out quite a lot actually because I really wanted to love it and I didn't.
Oh, that's a shame.
What a heartbreak.
Yeah, they can do no wrong in my eyes. They occupied that weird spot between jazz and everything else.
Yeah.
And they managed to get away with it. It's great because they've come up through the hip hop, all this weird, insane beat music coming from LA. They were mimicking, so they've kind of like.
They're from Canada, right?
I don't know.
I think
they're Canadian.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, man, they're so young as well. They're like mid-20s, and they're playing this really like tasteful jazz stuff. And they know when to. Just great bands, like you can tell by listening to them.
Well,
and
they're all
got
virtuoso players.
Yeah, they're amazing.
It's just fun to listen to them. They're loose.
Yeah, but they're getting really good. The guest appearances on this album are really good. The songs are really good.
Yeah, I think it's like track 2, someone or other.
Well, Time Moves Slow.
Yeah, that's the standout track for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I've got it over there. Right there.
The same rug that he was going to sit on and listen to Radiohead.
Wow.
This
rug could speak.
The stories it would tell.
I recommend it wholeheartedly.
I think it was. I've seen it's been places like album of the year. I think Resident Records in Brighton put it as their number one.
It's all over the shop. Lots of people digging it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this probably, if I actually was aware enough that this was out, probably would have dug my claws into it and really enjoyed it. Because
they're a busy band.
I dig what they've done.
Excuse for missing a release because they're just churning out albums.
Oh, is it like a kind of Hawkwind situation, like a fucking billion albums they released or something?
Okay, controversial. I know. I don't care.
I'm scared.
I decided to put Truthseeker releases in my top albums of the.
Disgusting.
I don't care.
I've got a couple.
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you, Phil? Are you looking at me with those gorgeous blue eyes? Are they blue?
Is it wrong to enjoy? Is it wrong to enjoy your own releases?
So yeah, next up I've got Rope.
The Perks of Being.
Yeah, Perks of Being.
It's alright, isn't it? It's alright. Not bad.
It's
a bit Welsh.
I was trying to describe it yesterday. I did like an email to sort of promote what we've done this year, and I just said it's on paper it's like the most esoteric and hardest sell of any record I can think of. Where it's like songs that are between 5 to 9 minutes with 1, maybe 2 riffs at the most. The album title's in Welsh. There's no reason why anyone should enjoy it, but it's so good.
It's got a vibe. The way it's recorded as well, definitely.
Oh, of course, yeah, like the whole live element to it.
It sounds like it's gonna at any second fall apart.
Josh's drums.
Yeah.
Josh is such a good drummer. It's just it is a pleasure to watch him pretty much any time because he never looks like he's overexerting himself exactly. And I guess for a lot of the time he doesn't need to overexert himself, but he just kind of his timing is so on. He's in the pocket.
Yeah, when I first got sent it, I was like a little bit hesitant. I thought I didn't know how I felt about it, but I've ended up listening to it maybe the most of any record this year.
Hesitant? Why though?
Just
because as a release,
just as I said, it's
doesn't immediately grab you by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah, they're long songs with 1 or 2 riffs, and that's not.
It demands a lot from a listener.
Yeah,
patience.
And when you do kind of sit and listen to it again and again, you kind of pick up the nuances of everything, and I think it's just
Ignatius, contender for riff of the year.
That is a hell of a riff.
Yeah.
Kai told me, I don't know if he put out somewhere else, that that riff was originally intended for Good Time Boys, but then when he left the band, he took the riff with him.
Yeah, no, yeah, I remember because I remember on the tour we did with Rope, I was trying to get him to tell me how to play that riff. He was just getting me to figure it out.
I like that album a lot.
Yeah.
Funny that.
Didn't make my top 10 though.
Did it not?
No.
Okay, interesting.
He didn't make my top 10 because I'm not going to be a scummy little boy adding in my own label's releases. And I look down upon both of you. This is one that I have to thank Phil for.
Oh, it's not, is it?
A certain Antipodean fella called Conan Moccasin was introduced to me by this fucking long-haired, lanky
Colin Moccasin.
Conan Moccasin was introduced.
Is that one
to
of
me
your
by...
mates?
he looks like he should be mates.
Is that Kester Humble Grumbly's mate?
It is. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they had cross paths. Conan Moccasin is like some Kiwi, I think.
He's from New Zealand.
Psych rock, art rock. He's almost like the Mighty Boosh as a real band. Like that's kind of the vibe I get from him a lot of the time.
I'm still figuring him out.
Elements of it. It's just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Is it Flight of Conchords? They're from New Zealand.
But no, it actually you'll get what I mean if you saw it. Why I say the Mighty Boosh. Because it's a bit weird arty, a bit weird psychedelic, weird surreal, and then it's psych rock sort of stuff. Okay. But not Conan Moccasin's own efforts, but his group with I can't remember what the dude's name is.
Is it LA Priest or?
You're right. It's LA Priest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Soft Hair. Soft Hair's eponymous album. Soft Hair. It's like this. It's like sleazy synth pop. That when you listen to the lyrics, it's just like, what the fuck are you singing about? Like sometimes it is literally like, what the fuck are you singing about? I don't understand what you're saying. And then when you hear what he's saying, it's like, I want to fuck you, but I'm old, or something like that. It's like, what the fuck are you? Like, she's only 17. It's like, huh? Some of the lyrics, and also the music videos crack me up so much.
They're hilarious.
Colin Moccasin in like some of them, it's just pure Tim and Eric. It's just like, oh my days. I've kind of bought into their image. I've bought into their sound. It's just like, I'm a sucker for certain synth pop, and I can't remember what the song. There's one of the songs. It's like, it's a good time. There's this synth line. There's
all the
synth
synths are really detuned.
but there's this one synth which is a lead in like one of the middle songs or whatever, which is just like it. I would steal that and put it in Human Future just because it's such a lovely little melody. It makes me feel so good inside, but also just the rest, all the stuff surrounding it, kind of has this weird sleazy sheen. But also, it sounds like some stuff that kind of like Talking Heads could put out. Maybe Earth, Wind and Fire could like be involved in certain songs. But then it also, as you say, it's got that weird detuning stuff going on as well. It's just kind of like it's like something I've never heard before, something I've never quite seen before, and I like it because it's a bit depraved.
What I would say, if you're listening to this and you want to hear it, I would listen to it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, just don't
it's very tongue-in-cheek, and it's not a very serious...
It's weird. It's fucking weird. It's not weird for the sake of being weird as such.
And like, from a lot of the reviews I've read, a lot of people really didn't like it, which is a shame, because I think it's really, really, really good.
Yeah, just for whatever reason, it really clicked for me. Like, he's got such a weird falsetto as well. If you like the Mighty Boosh, you'll probably like get some enjoyment from it. And for some people, that'll probably be the kiss of death for it. So like, whatever. Like,
yeah.
It's a weird one. If you want to like kind of be confused, light up a beam and listen to this.
Next. Oh, I'm next. Oh. Yeah. Right. Okay.
This is how sequences work.
For this next one, this one was my good friend Pete recommended this to me halfway through the year, and I have to admit it's something that I didn't immediately connect with, but recently.
Human Future Spectrum.
Towards the end of the year, I was just like, let's give this another go. Mark Pritchard, Under the Sun, which I don't know if either of you have heard. But,
no, I think you told me about this whilst you were driving me one time.
Yeah, most definitely. Incredible. Really, really good.
I don't recognise the name.
No, who was he in? He's in a like an electronica outfit. I can't remember the name now.
Daft Punk.
No. A lesser known one, but yeah, like he's obviously critically acclaimed among his peers because the people he's got guesting on this album was very hard hitters. Tom York being one of them. Yeah, and it's like every track is just. I suppose it could be a jarring listen to someone who's like wanting to have like one genre, throughout. It's very much within the first 5 tracks you've gone down lots of different rabbit holes.
I'm getting a feeling immediately he plays piano.
Yeah.
I just can immediately guess.
Yeah. The first track's like this huge, like Pink Floyd-esque landscape kind of ambient song, and then it goes into
Black Lace covers.
Folktronica, if you can call it that.
Yeah.
That's bouncing around these days.
Like
really choral, and then the next one's just like intense krauty vibes, like some craft work. Yeah, it's just got something for everyone on this album, and I would recommend it.
How did you discover him?
My friend Pete.
Oh yeah, you said this already. I'm fucking idiot.
And then he's like, "Oh, Tom York's on this album." That's all really you need to say to get me to listen to something.
Well, again, yeah, it's the sort of thing of like if Tom York's kind of almost putting his seal of approval on it, like it's something where you'll be like,
it's very tasteful. It's got like lots of I don't know, kind of minimalist influences as well. There's a lot of Philip Glass I can hear in it.
Nice.
Yeah, I like it. You would love it.
Link me up, boy.
It's got it.
Link me
There's your
up.
name written all over it, Steve. And maybe Alex.
Probably not me.
Okay.
there's piano. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm against pianos. All right, continue my my trend of including Truthseeker leakers.
Oh, you fucking
mate. There's 3 of them. Settle in.
Oh fuck me! I'm gonna break your neck.
Another one that I listened to a hell of a lot this year, and I am really very pleased that we were able to put out, is the SONANCE Torpor split. It's so heavy.
So heavy.
Yeah, listening to the masters they sent over when we first heard it, was like, fucking hell.
I mean, we got to do that tour in Europe with Torpor this time last year, and got to hear those 3 songs played every night, and
Pleasure.
I was really excited to hear it on record. And
especially environments, that was really interesting hearing how that changed.
yeah.
Well, not
Yeah,
changed,
definitely.
but like how it came out.
Yeah, definitely. Their side is just unbelievably heavy. I felt like I needed to change my record player afterwards because it was just vibrating so much from those riffs.
What was it? Was it Wayne Adams?
Yeah, it's Wayne Adams that recorded it at Bear Bites Horse, and it's just
He's a shitwife, isn't he?
yeah, that's right. It's their side's unbelievable, and then
It's
and then Sonance come in. And
Scott Walker doing.
It's very uncomfortable when the song
I
is
thought.
Yeah.
I love the first track of the Sonance side.
For me, the Sonance side, just the last track, really like oceanic inspired, sort of ISIS era oceanic, just instrument. It's just brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, like again, it's such a pleasure to know that we are kind of friends with these people, and also that we've released these bands. Because Sonance, when they first discovered them, I was just like, holy shit, this is one of like the most interesting UK bands I've heard for a long time. And then just happening upon Torpor when I was going to see Sonance live, I think it was supporting Kaina as well, and Jesus Christ, yeah, they blew my socks off. Unfortunate that they've parted ways with Nats, but she's come out with an interesting band.
Yeah.
Watch Cries, that's
sounds
very
great.
cool. But again, like Torpor have, I imagine everyone who had listened to them was concerned, like, oh, will they be able to keep it together?
Oh.
And boy, they fucking did, didn't they? Yeah. Like John
was
like,
not expecting that vocal performance from John.
yeah, well, no, he already did vocals, but the thing, like, he had to obviously take on a far more prominent role. Simon, like, getting involved with his, like, fucking raspy, like, yeah! Sort of, like, just like, stick behind the drums, mate, stick behind the drums.
Yeah, for me,
Stop scaring kids.
For me, I was like a little bit, when I saw Nats leaving, I was a little bit kind of concerned, because she's such like a focal point in that band when she was there. Just, a great front person. And I was like a little bit sort of hesitant about, will they be able to carry it on? Will they sound as good?
I'm sure they were thinking that as well.
And
but they demonstrated they can.
They nailed it, really, didn't they? I mean,
Yes, so yeah.
Yeah, you can't really say much more than that. They're brilliant, and I'm really looking forward to their full length that they're working on at a glacial pace at the moment.
A glacial pace. Well, it is the time of the season, isn't it?
I spoke to them. I saw them play with Callist a couple of weeks ago in London, and John said that they've written, I think, one riff for their new record. That's exciting.
Whoa! Train wreck speed. Yeah, so my next album is Sumax.
Oh,
What
yeah.
One Becomes.
Yeah.
Lewis sent that to me, like, specifically, like, was like, oh yeah, I think you'll like this, right?
Great
Sounds
band.
like your sort of like style of writing, you'd like it. I was like, Lewis recommendation, it's going to be interesting. So I was already, funny enough, Aaron Turner isn't like someone who we're unaware of.
Had you listened to them before this record, or was this?
I had listened to the ISIS, and now I then listened to the Sumac, and I thought they were a good band.
Had you listened to any of their
The
previous
Deal,
albums? Though?
yeah, The Deal.
Okay. Yeah.
I listened to it and I liked it, but it never quite grabbed me. And What One Becomes, for some, like, talking about Torpor, I talked to Lauren about it very briefly, and she was like, "Yeah, no, I thought The Deal was a better album." I was like, "No, this is the one which kind of does it for me." Like, to use something Phill said earlier, and it's kind of a bit of a cliche, but like What One Becomes has so many moments where it sounds like it could fall apart at any time. Like there's this a real tension on the album, and also it's kind of not my usual choice in songwriting. It is a bit of a riff salad sort of thing. It doesn't necessarily, not all the ideas lead on smoothly from each other. Sometimes it's like it kind of has a stream of consciousness flow to things. It's like whatever like the next idea is, like it just kind of goes on to that. And there's these sections where like, which song is it? Like it could be. I can't. I think it's the fourth song where it's like the start is just drums and then the guitar like lead being pulled in and out of the input or like just rubbed around the input, and you can just hear all those sorts of things fizzling and crackling. And Aaron Turner has a masterful ability to make just like crunchy, palm muted chords just chug with such ferocity. It's another instance where like with Nick Bosch and the Mobile group, where you can tell they've been playing together for a long time and they've got a chemistry. These guys, Sunak, are like the Baptist drummer, Russian Circles bassist, I think.
Yeah.
And Aaron Turner, they just clearly work so well as a unit, know what each other wants to do. And for me, it built upon the first album in that it had, I feel, far more interesting ideas, exciting ideas, and just... Again, it was tense as fuck listening to that. Heavy as hell. And moments where it kind of goes into desert rock and it very drony, beautiful sort of sounds.
It's funny, really, as named after a berry.
Yeah, no, when I was trying to search the album one day, that's when I discovered that. It actually means something like berry. Good old Google. But yes, that will be my next one. Because... I mean, Aaron Turner's done many beautiful releases, and this is a return to form.
Nice. I'll write it down. What was it called?
What One Becomes.
What One Becomes.
Their production sound on that record, I really like it. It has a lot of moments of sparseness.
Yeah.
And then things which are all-encompassing noise, sort of thing.
Right. Okay. This is my first one of two Truthseeker music releases.
Oh, here we go.
I've gone for Earth Moves, The Truth Within Our Bodies, just because it's spectacular.
That's my number 3.
Is it?
So yeah.
Oh, you've ruined it.
So we can tick these off together.
Tick this off, right?
Oh, well, in that case, I've
go on, lick each other's asses for a minute.
SONANCE split.
Oh, have you?
Yes.
Okay.
So.
Did you want to talk about that one first, or did we kind of say everything you need to say about it?
I think the word heavy encompasses everything I need to say about the SONANCE and Torpor split.
Okay.
It's unreal.
So
you've spoken at length already, Alex, and
it's easily the heaviest thing I've heard all year, and I'm stoked to be a part of it, really. Just because it's I've had a couple mates who are into the doom, into the sludgy doom stuff, and I'm like, come with me, take them to one side and bring up here, put it on, needles bouncing off the fucking vinyl. It's crazy. And yeah, it's just completely in a very tired genre. It's a breath of fresh air.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Earth Moves.
Yeah. No, not Earth Moves.
No. I'm sorry. No.
Yeah. Earth Moves. Yeah, great. What an album. So many influences as well. It's very Right, we spoke to Sam on the last podcast, but yeah.
Yeah, when I first heard that Cillian, like their debut digital single, I thought it sounded just like exactly like Death Heaven. I was like a little bit like, this is good, but I feel like it's not wowing me. And then the stuff on the album is just another level, really.
Since having
my favourite pop group.
Yeah, since having Sam break down what the albums that influenced it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense. And
get the fuck on land.
Yeah, and fair play for them to like really concrete in a theme throughout, like with the artwork and the lyrics. It really, it's a very coherent package. I like it a lot. Very and maybe the most impassioned vocal performance in the list.
Yeah, Jordan's great. I know we spoke quite a lot in the last podcast about it, but that for me, again, definitely had to be on my list. I just listened to it so much, and every time I think this is the track, the next one I'm going, no, this is the track. Yeah. It's everything's brilliant on it.
Good length as well.
Great length. That I was lucky enough to go and join them when they recorded They
Follow up.
some new material a few weeks ago, and that is very exciting too.
Well, yeah, for me,
Brett
like hearing it develop from the Brett demos to the actual final release, it's
A lot of work's been put in.
lovely.
Lovely.
The idea's been realised. It's Joe Clayton did a spanking good job,
Sounds great.
and it's a very few bands really come out with such a confident sort of robust debut release. Like it's got no flab to it, and it's I imagine it's gonna long term gonna hold them in good stead.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think
My
it's really
hopes.
easy for people to describe them as members of Benevolent to Live, ex-Grapple.
Like I did Supergroup.
Yeah, and I think it might be the best thing that any of those guys have ever done. I think it's great.
Yeah, like I'm into all the things they've done before, but yeah, I might actually have to agree with you. Yeah, it's a very good collaborative effort. Like I'd say it's at least on par with Grapplers. Everything I hate, I can't remember what it's called. Fucking hell!
It's got the word fear in there somewhere.
Fear, like that albumish thing. That's
Yeah.
fucking banger, and so is this.
Yeah, nice.
Everything
Okay.
I've ever feared.
Boom!
Thanks, Google.
Jesus Christ! I really wish I had memory and diction.
Sweet.
Where was that on your list?
That's my number 3.
Okay.
So I enjoyed that.
Well done, boys.
Well
Enjoyed
done,
it.
boys.
Yeah, thanks for that.
No,
Thanks for making me
super.
filthy rich as well.
Yeah, we're raking in the dollars.
Swimming in it. Swimming in cash.
Okay, I'll go next. My number 5 is the new album from Nothing. Did any of you guys check that out?
I'm not like a hipster fucking loser like you.
Okay.
Like Nothing. It's kind of like a thing. I'm not really into it that much. It's good. It's just it's almost like a boat that set sail long ago for me, sort of thing. Like clearly shoegazy stuff is becoming quite prominent in the mainstream now, or like at least a more mainstream audience. And it's just like I was listening to Ride and like My Bloody Valentine, like a bit aback, and like not to say I'm above it or anything. I still enjoy it. It's just it doesn't have the same emotional
I
connection.
thought you said you weren't a hipster, but you've just said that you listened to shoegaze before it was cool.
So I didn't connect with it really. I listened to it and it didn't get me back for a second listening.
Yeah, like I'd rather listen to the old shoegaze stuff than the new stuff. Like it's heavier for sure. The production arguably better.
Rooted in grunge as well, like not just shoegaze.
Yeah, very much so.
Point. Yeah.
I mean, for me, the last record they put out, Guilty of Everything,
That's great.
is one of my favourite releases of the last decade, maybe more. I think it's unbelievable. So I was really looking forward to this one. And then with all the sort of press around it with their record label and all that kind of stuff going on, there was obviously a lot of hype and anticipation. And I was really looking forward to it. The singles they put out as well, like Eaten by Worms, just
That sounds like a fucking death metal song.
it's fucking brilliant. But the album as a whole didn't quite match up to Guilty of Everything for me, but there are so many standout tracks. So yeah, Eaten by Worms
Whatever
and
happened?
Tired of Tomorrow, like the title track, is sick. And I bought the deluxe vinyl, which comes with like a shaped picture disc additional EP, and both tracks on that are 2 of my favourite songs of the year, but weirdly not actually on the album. So if you listen to the deluxe edition, then The Heavenly Blue Flew, that's one of Phil's mates again, and Tic Tac Toe, definitely worth listening to if you listen to the record.
Isn't one of the members like formerly of Were?
Yeah.
What the fuck ever happened with Were? Did they just like?
Oh dear.
Yeah, like did they just like? Is it like they just completely have disappeared after the whole?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I've not seen they split up, but I think they're just kind of
Embarrassed.
I don't know if they are. Like just following their.
It was such a non-issue. Like it was such a oh, none of this actually matters. Like,
yeah,
exactly.
It's off topic. But yeah, he was also in Death Heaven. That same guy. I think he was like the original bassist that we saw him play when we saw him in Brighton.
With the fucking shit drop. No, it wasn't shit.
He was like 15.
Yeah, and he lacked energy, shall we say?
Yeah. So
nothing.
That's...
On to something. I really should actually just keep my.
That would be a really good
list
segue
open.
if you didn't have to unlock your phone.
From nothing.
up.
So, from nothing onto something. Hey, yeah, we can edit that. My next one, I kind of can't decide between them because it's guess who, Ulver, and like both the releases this year.
Are they put out 2 records?
Technically, no.
Okay.
One is like it's a partial remix sort of thing. It's kind of got some old tracks that they've reworked, and then new ideas and stuff, which is partially live recorded and partially like done in post. And it's just sprawling psychedelic rock, ambient noise. Yeah, again, they're clearly drawing from psychedelic rock big time, and it's I can't remember what the album something about England, whatever. Like a prior album where they started going a bit more rocky. It was a bit of a mishmash venture. It was one of their weakest albums, but this one they brought it back and improved upon it markedly, and just almost anything Ulver does is always going to be tasteful, but just unleashed. There's something about them that always feels wild to me, and I guess like Christopher Reeve has said, like he still feels like they are black metal in a way, and it's probably just like thematically they have this sort of individualistic tone to them still and drive, and they always want to do what they want to do. They don't want to do anything other people have done necessarily, and I will always love them for that. So like that album is I can here we go. Attempt number 1. Atkvilskap ATG CLVLSS cap. The fuck? How do you
Instant
say
classic.
That? Yeah, it's just like, well, that's gonna be easy to Google.
I think what your issue is you didn't try and do the accent as you said it. Yep, there we go.
And then they snuck out towards the end of the year a soundtrack for the film Riverhead, or documentary it might have been. Riverhead, yeah, it's not the same as Svidniga, but it's got a similar level of kind of a melodic tone to things, and it's just kind of trademark Ulver, but fresh. You can tell it's Ulver, but it doesn't sound like something they've done a couple of years ago, and it's just they always keep me interested. They're without a doubt one of the biggest influences on me altogether, and yeah, like if you're gonna start with Ulver, you could easily start at the beginning, or you could start at the end, work your way either way. You could pick any album at random and you're going to find something you like about them, and going with these latest releases, you're not going to miss out either.
Nice.
Right. What are we on? Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, the Skeleton Tree.
Oh, I didn't listen to this one, but I feel like I should have done.
Yeah, it's very sad. It's a sad album. Yeah. When something bad happens in an artist's life, I don't like to. I think it's a shame when reviews hang on to it. Do you know what I mean? But
what was it?
His son died.
Right.
Yeah, and listening to how he's gone about this album, it's inherently quite sad.
Is that what it's about, or is it that's just like?
No, it's laced in grief though. I mean, each track kind of. Grief is explored through separate narratives, I'd say, but the imagery is mad, and there's not a lot of drums on it, and it sounds as though he's recorded a lot of the vocals live, because the phrasing he's kind of like leapfrogging, like repeating phrases to no kind of real obvious beat, because there's not a real obvious beat because the drums are so limited in the album. But yeah, it painted a very start.
Bleak,
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I actually went on a walk while I listened to it because I got it and I was just like, oh, I fancy going for a walk. Kind of a mistake in hindsight because it was so sad. Like I got back from the walk.
Where's the nearest cliff?
Yeah, I was like, fuck me. Yeah, it's very But sit down and be prepared because you're going to have a lot of
harrowing.
Not
quite that intense.
A lot of emotions will come to the surface through music and through the vocal delivery and the lyrics. I think it's a shame for a lot of reviews to cling on to the fact that something bad had happened in the lead up to the album.
Why do you think it's bad? What do you mean? Just like they focus on it too much?
Well, yeah, like when it gets reviewed, it's just like the album.
So, like there's music. There's actually music.
Yeah, in a way. I mean, I think it's kind of you have to really mention it, really, because it's
the elephant in the room, really,
obvious, yeah. But not in a really obvious way. It's explored through.
Guess who died?
It's explored through different vices and it's hinted in the music. But yeah, very heartbreaking album, and for the way it invokes such emotion in me, it's got to be on my top 10 because not a lot of albums did.
Right, so now Emo Boy's finished.
My next one is Oathbreaker.
Oh, here we go.
You've not listened to it.
I haven't. I've listened to Rheia or whatever it is. Is that that? Wait, is that the album?
That's the album title.
I've heard the single and
Needles in Your Skin.
The one where it's like.
That's the whole record, I think.
Her vocal performance is insane on that single.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's just great.
It's the new Sunbather.
It's exactly why I've avoided it because I knew that it would be hype central, and it has been. And it sounds like from the track, I actually preferred what I heard to Sunbather.
Yeah. Fair play. If you told me last year the next, kind of standout release is going to be Oathbreaker.
Yeah,
I've seen it coming.
For me, they in the past have always been a band that I listened to and then just never gone back to. They've not done anything to grab me. But
I haven't seen them live either, sort of thing. It's not something where they've even been a major part of our life.
Yeah, but this record is just a step up all round, I think.
Is it? Do you know if it's like a concept album or something? It kind of
do not know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
We don't think so.
But it's just I don't even know.
Well, it definitely seems like it's almost like we're in a post-Death Heaven scene, and all sorts of things are going to have similarity to that, and it's always going to be the thing that people go back to. And I've seen so many. It's like, oh yeah, it's the next Sunbather, sort of thing. And I will definitely get onto it at some point. It does seem like it could be warranted from the songs I heard.
Yeah, it's very good. My only sort of gripe, if I have one, is it is pretty long, and you do have to listen to it in full. You can't sort of just drop in at a random point. You do have to listen to the whole thing, and you have to set aside a decent chunk of your day in order to do that. I'm
into esoteric, mate, so that's just part of the course, isn't it?
Yeah, it's over an hour long, so by hardcore in inverted things,
it's over an hour long.
It's over an hour long.
Let's have a J to it.
I don't know why that was funny to me.
Have you got my keys?
No, there.
Alright, next one.
So yes, the next release, another one that you guys probably have no fucking idea of, because I can't really remember how I found it. I think it was another thing just scouring through the madness that is Twitter. Just happened upon this thing. Happy Place, Northfield. So Happy Place is a band. I can't remember the drummer's name, but he is the main composer, and it is, I guess you could call it noise rock, minimalist noise rock sort of thing. Simply put, think of Steve Reich or Reich.
Steve Reich.
Steve Reich in the afternoon.
That was really, really good. Well done. And yeah, no, Steve Reich. It's that sort of repetitious nature of rock. Oh fucking hell! Phil really found that funny.
It's hearing the jingle. Steve Reich in the afternoon.
The third Reich in the afternoon. But no, yeah, this is all composed music, and it's definitely not everyone's cup of tea because it's very repetitive, it's very dissonant, it's very just obstinate. It's just like it's stubbornly doing what it wants to do, and it's like a mini rock orchestra of sorts. It's trance-inducing. It shares similarities with Nick Borch in the kind of minimalist element of how things just. Hey, I can hear the laughter, Alex. And it does share similarities with that, but then again, it then sounds like it's actually not too dissimilar from Nikovsky either. Like in that kind of just weird, disjointed, hardcore-ish sound. But then it's composed and it feels like a noise rock orchestra. If you're up for something that is unlike much of what you've heard this year or before, definitely worth a try because he's a brilliant drummer. They're all, again, virtuoso musicians. And it's never going to win any awards for, like, catchiness. It's never going to be on Radio 1. You're never going to hear, like, Fern Cotton.
You don't hear anything on Radio 1.
Yeah. Fern Cotton is definitely not the person I meant. But you're not going to hear it on Radio 1 anytime soon. Therefore, go on their Bandcamp and buy it.
My next choice is easily the most bonkers album out of all of them. Danny Brown, Atrocity Exhibition.
Is this one of your...
Have you heard it?
Rap.
Is this one of your rap ones?
It's a hip hop album.
Right.
Fucking mental.
Yeah, Danny Brown is a bit mental though, isn't he?
Yeah, but a lot of his stuff previous to this, I thought was complete rubbish. And everything he's featured on, I think he's ruined up until this year. And I listened to it, and yeah, I think the sign of a good album for me nowadays is if I can't finish it.
That's the opposite.
No, because it's challenging and like it's a very rewarding album.
I like music that I don't like.
Honestly, like 5 tracks in, it is just absolute madness. Like brass band, like you've got to listen to it. It's mad.
Yeah, like I've listened to Danny Brown before, and again, like I'm not that into
that side.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah,
He changed to Warp as well, the record label.
That kind of makes it a bit
The
more
artwork
interesting.
is very different from the stuff he's done previously, and I think like within interviews I've seen as well, he's really like he's citing bands like the obvious influence would be Joy Division, but he likes bands like Talking Heads and stuff like that, and he's really
sold.
He's bringing a lot to the table, and the producers he's used on the albums as well. Like it's as if they've bought all their really angular, quirky, weird beats, and he's attacking them, and
Kung Fu chopping those beats.
Yeah, really,
motherfucker,
really bonkers. And like, I think, easily my favourite hip hop album of the year.
Not a Tropical Quest.
This is just a new beast.
A new beast, though.
New beast.
Is it? I can't remember who was that guy last year who released that like hip hop album, like Butterfly thingy bob.
Oh, Kendrick.
Is it kind of like that?
It's nothing like that.
Well, like, I mean, but like, comparatively, is it like that sort of like? I remember lots of people being like, "Whoa, this is a bit of like a left field sort of hip hop album." Is it kind of a very like a, "Whoa, this is a bit of a game changer" sort of thing?
It's like
or is it?
I don't even know what to call it, to be honest. It's weird.
So
really,
you do
really
know what to
bonkers.
call it. You just
nothing
call it weird. How dare you lie to
Pimp
us?
a Butterfly
You lied to
was
me and
really,
Alex.
really pretty and really, yeah. This is just weird and bonkers. And
You think this is the album that makes Danny Brown worthwhile?
yeah, it's like the kind of full. Well, the first track's called Downward Spiral, so you kind of get that sense of you're really you're gonna be submerged in this album, yeah, and you by the midpoint you kind of feel, oh God, no, how do I get back? Do you know what I mean? It's
and
really...
the answer for you is switch it off.
Yeah, stop listening.
Oh, on the
Great
first
album.
listen, yeah. You listen to it for the first time and get to that.
Is that actually the clarification? It's like if you can't listen through it all the way first time.
It's mad. It's really good. It's, very rewarding album, and I don't find him like nearly as annoying as I did before.
Yeah, I remember watching some interviews with him and ASAP Rocky, and it's like, oh fucking hell, this is the most inane wank.
Yeah. If you like odd arrangements and like weird sounds,
I do.
I'll
So I'll give it a go. Yeah.
Sorry, I went on a bit. Not then.
Sorry. My third place was Earth Moves, so I don't really have one for now.
Let's skip on then, I guess.
Yeah. Carry on, Steve.
My next one is a bit more of a metal one. Into Armour, Paradise Gallows.
I've never heard of them.
You've never heard of Inter Armour? They're another kind of Roadburn sort of band.
It makes me think of like Children of Bodom, but shitter. Just off
well,
the name.
it's like not Children of Bodom because they're good.
Children of Bodom are good. So.
Yeah, love them.
You heard it here first.
Love them to bits. What? Sounds like a slightly heavier Dream Theater. Okay, I'm sold. Thank you very much, Children of Bodom. Getting back to business.
I don't know where that came
Yeah,
from.
I know, that got a bit like real. Inter Armour, Paradise Gallows, yeah, like these dudes. I feel, mentioning Human Future, I feel a bit of an affinity with them in terms of what I always want to do with music. I love the idea of merging different genres, and I guess I'm still a bit of a metalhead at heart, just not like overt with it. And these guys, they very competently merge black metal, death metal, doom, post metal, you know, all the versions of metal, and create a cohesive blend of it. And they've also, on this album particularly, they've actually experimented with different vocal styles. They've expanded upon what they've done before, and their first, I think it was an EP they released first, wasn't all that great. It kind of like had an inkling of what they could do, and I think their first album was Sky Burial or something like that. I could be completely wrong. That was really good, but felt a bit disjointed. This feels like it kind of they've learnt from the first album and they understand what they wanted to do a bit better. It's got some sick Metallica-esque harmonised leads. I think it's Potomac, which might be my favourite song. It's a bit of, I think it's an instrumental, and it's got a very earnest sort of heart-rending melody, which is played out by the guitars. I fucking love it. It's got some piano as well in it, and it's just one of those songs where you kind of feel, I wish I'd written that. That's really cool. There's some sick death metal moments. There's some sick moments where it's just like everything is going mental, and it's just one of those bands I would genuinely like to see live, especially after seeing this album. I would love to see them live just to see if they can actually, how they put it off, what they do. And I think they could become like, not necessarily, well, they could be up there with bands like Neurosis
And Children of Bodom.
and Children of Bodom. Like Neurosis down here, number 2, and then a lot higher up, Children of Bodom, numero uno. Inter Armour could be up there with the big boys.
Right, last one.
No, it isn't.
Well, it is because I also rated the SONANCE, but
Oh fuck yeah! No, I've got 2 more. I was going to say.
Yeah, I've got 2 more, so I'll go, and then because I skipped out my last turn, I'll round us off. So we've just got 1 left each.
sick.
Well, I've got 2 left.
I know. So do I.
I've got 2.
So you do one, you
Yeah,
do one,
yeah,
I
yeah.
go again, and we all have 1 left. Yeah.
All right. So my number 2 is Daughter. I've forgotten the name of the record.
Good.
Not to disappear.
Not to disappear.
I've mentioned it to both of you on several occasions, but I feel like you have not.
I've
listened
heard
to
Daughter.
it. Okay.
Yeah, I was already aware of them.
I had never heard of them until this year, and I think it's just brilliant. It's kind of indie electronic, post rock ish. Sounds like a slightly poppier version of like Chelsea Wolf or Funerals or something. And
It's kind of
really,
it's very like subtle and sparse at points.
yeah, it's really struck a chord with me. I think just it's just so melancholy. And
Are you turning into a belated goth?
I might be.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Is it the whiplash?
It's
The whiplash is getting to your brain,
like yeah.
causing goth neurotoxins.
But when I first got sent the record to listen to earlier this year, I kind of listened to it once, thought, yeah, it's pretty good, but I don't need to listen to it again. And then I just put it on by chance, sort of around about June, and then haven't been able to stop listening since. So, yeah, really, really very good.
They're a kind of Radio 1 sort of band, aren't they?
I think so.
They get a lot of airplay, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say they're like a sort of, they actually have a bit of a prominent
Yeah,
following.
they are.
They'll sell out Brixton Academy, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was was it Ollie Hansel?
Oh yeah.
like sent me some stuff of theirs, and I had heard of them, and then sent me some stuff, and we were kind of bonding over sort of things, and Scott Walker was one of them, but I haven't actually listened to that album. Like,
Nor have I.
No.
yeah,
I've heard like my flatmate really enjoys it.
I didn't even talking of funerals. I didn't actually listen to Wound.
Okay.
I haven't listened to that yet. I don't even know why. You mentioning them kind of reminded me. Oh shit! Like, I was actually really looking forward to that.
Yeah. So that's my number 2. I think it's very
That was
good.
my number 2 as well. Right, this is like not necessarily my number 2, but second to last one, and then my favourite album. This is another kind of Friends band, but a band that I'm just whatever they do just always seems to impress me to some extent. Cara Near's Perpetual Despair is the Human Condition. It was written like in 2013-14. Like the most of it was recorded back then, and then he finished it off in 2015, and it took like a year for the thing to actually come out. I'm not even sure why. I think it could have been problems with the printing plant, or maybe it was Broken Limbs. Scheduling was just too hectic because Pete Brown seems to like have a lot of stuff on his plate. He's like repping for Pete Brown, Broken Limbs Recordings. He seems to be doing a good job. Like, I am impressed with what he does, and he's been involved with plenty of good acts. And his support of Cara Near, Gary Brent, I followed him for years. Like, he was in a band called Seaman Cross Lips back in the MySpace days, and when the name being a reference to Akakoka, and I fucking love Akakoka, so I was on that like a fly on shite. And ever since then, followed him, discovered Cara Near, and I've been fortunate enough to kind of just become friends with him. So it's kind of interesting seeing it from that perspective as well. Just like his album Portals to a Better Dead World, which was kind of like maybe his standout album before now, this could actually potentially better it. It's a bit more like immediate. It's a bit more... It's over sooner, I do believe. But it's got some really good songwriting. Like the second song, Normalcy. Like some people will dislike the production because it is a bit of a bedroom black metal sound. Like it's programmed drums. And I love the programmed drums. But like I can understand why some people wouldn't like it. It's just so nicely done. It all flows really nicely, and it has a bit of a riff salad element to it, but I think Gary does riff salads really well. It always feels cohesive, even if the riffs don't like literally relate to each other perfectly. It always still flows, and it's got amazing energy. It's always like some of the speed behind the stuff, it's ridiculous, and the rate he churns stuff out, like it's always good. So listen to Cara Near. Give them your time and your appreciation, because I fucking love them.
Yeah, they're one of the bands that I do it with quite a lot of bands where I
remember playing you stuff and you didn't like the production, and again I can understand why. Like Luke Stepney, he was just like, yeah, it's good, but like, where's the bass? Like, it's got a kind of trebly production. It's not going to be like an audiophile's wet dream as such. It's a particular sound. And I've grown up with like some like black metal stuff, which it like sounds like absolute piss, like on toast sort of thing. So it's good by me. It conjures up the imagination in me. It makes me think in pictures. It's cool. I love it. Can't give enough praise.
Good one. All right.
Philippe, your last one.
My last one is Michael Kiwanuka, Love and Hate. Which
you've definitely played it to me.
Yeah, I did play you. If you're a metalhead, probably stay clear of this one because it is a soul album. But it's a very interesting take on what I'd say. I'd say the good comparison would be Marvin Gaye meets Pink Floyd.
You heard them at Glastonbury or something? Was that right?
Oh, he had an album out a few years ago, and it was like a Van Morrison kind of folky affair.
Yeah.
Like, all acoustic. But this one, he's kind of he plays electric guitar on most of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, production's amazing. The arrangements are great. Lots of really cool like backing vocals as well. So he's really utilised like a group I can only imagine like 3 backing vocalists, and it really adds really adds to it. So you're getting that load like the Motown vibes, you know, really tasteful soul infused with a bit more guitar influences.
Nice.
Yeah, it's.
Any roads?
Sorry.
Any roads?
Yeah.
Yes.
Lots of like, you know.
Game.
Oh, it's sick. It's really, really good. It's such a good listen, and it's not gonna, you know, it's not gonna be a discomforting listen. It's very. Yeah, I'll just give it a listen.
Hang on, I thought you thought that an album was only good if it was discomforting on your first listen.
Well, this isn't one of the albums I turned off halfway through.
So what you're saying is this was actually a bad album, really?
No.
Did you listen to it all the way through?
No.
Oh God!
I've
I've tripped up on my own!
I can't think of anything more to say about it. It's definitely been... If you're into soul music, give it a go. If you don't like soul music, probably...
Is there like a standout track you'd recommend?
All of it.
It's a good track.
Yeah. It's a good length, so just sit down with it.
If you were making a mix CD for somebody,
Yeah.
what track would you put on there?
The opener, Cold Little Heart.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
And
Right.
you'll see...
Alex and you had to eke out the answer.
You'll see what I mean by the Marvin Gaye meets Pink Floyd.
Yeah, I remember when you played
Comparison.
it. It was like that was pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I love it.
All right.
So is it like boom 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 boom?
Yeah, almost identical.
Yes, exactly like that, Stephen.
Okay, my number one. I don't really have very much to say about my number one, but
What is wrong with you guys?
it's creative adult, Fear of Life. It's a record I'd seen loads of people raving about online, and really very, very good. It's on Run for Cover. I got to see them twice this year. Got to play with them once.
Is the twist that they're really uninspired children?
No.
Whoa, I'm flabbergasted.
Apparently it's post-punk, and I don't know anything about post-punk, so I couldn't really tell you. But all I know
Does
is
it sound kind of like Joy Division, The Cure? Well, that's kind of like new wave, I guess.
Sounded like Oasis to me.
yeah, it just made me really want to buy a wah pedal.
Okay, I'm not touching that with a barge pole then. Jesus.
They don't have solos. It's just like the guitar just has wah throughout. But you need to listen to it.
Is it kind of pretty psych for it, though? I can imagine that could be really cool.
Almost.
Phil shook his head in like a sheer
Not in what you
display
would
of
consider
no.
psych.
Yeah, and it's not Stephen Trepak psych.
Yeah.
The last two tracks, I've forgotten what they're called. The last two tracks are some of the best songs of the year. So if you want to listen to them, maybe listen to the opener to get a bit of a vibe, and then skip to the end, the last two, and enjoy those two.
Why, like, if it's something you've kind of only recently come across, what is it that really kind of makes it that worthwhile?
Don't know.
Do you think it is something? It's the right time and place for you, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I tried to listen to their last album because I've loved this one so much, and their previous record couldn't fucking stand.
Couldn't stand it. That's strong.
So yeah, they did
You hear that, creative adult?
They did a split with Self Defense Family, and it's one of those times when when you buy a split and you only listen to the band that you've bought it for. So
pretty much
ignored them in the past, listened to their old stuff since. Don't enjoy that, but this record is just great. And I listened to they did like a making of video series, or maybe just a one-off video on YouTube about it. And they're sort of saying about how they sort of had big conflicts because actually it was turning out nothing like how they'd envisaged it to be, and they thought it was like they weren't into it, and it turns out that what they weren't enjoying I really like a lot. So
it's like, so the next album's going to be shit.
yeah, if they carry on doing what they think sounds good, I probably won't like it.
And you say they use whammy pedal a lot.
There's a good amount.
No, wah, sorry, my
There's a
bad.
good amount of wah in it.
So basically, this is for fans of Oasis and Kirk Hammett.
Yes.
Cool, got it.
Got it. Right, last one.
Last one.
Go on, Steve.
This is the second one where I'm going to fail miserably in saying it. And this is the band who have been, like, their last album was, like, my favourite of the year that it was released. And that was equally impossible to say the name of, because they're a bunch of Finnish fuckers. And they have a language that is, like, indecipherable. It's like... what's the code? Hieroglyphics almost. It's vomit inducing. Aransi Pazuzu, which I think means like orange, not orange goblin, because that is a band, but it's like orange. What are they called?
Terry Chocolate.
It's like Orange Monster or something, like Pazuzu. I remember Pazuzu's the name of a gargoyle in Futurama. Yeah, that's a little tidbit for you. You're welcome. Aranti Pazuzu's, I'm going to say this the English way, Vara Talija. And it's got the most umlauts I think I've ever seen in a word. But yeah, Aranti Pazuzu, they I guess of all the bands on my list, they're probably closest to the band Eluctadolo in that they kind of very obviously psychedelic rock influenced, krautrock influenced. A lot of the time it's that kind of churning, repetitive, droning ostinato sort of songwriting. And the mixture of styles, this album is one of their darkest in a while. They kind of started going a bit. They've always had a quirky element to them, but like they started sounding a bit more prog in a way, and this album kind of brings back a sludgier, more sinister bent to things. Still got their like bastard long songs, all sorts of sounds going on in there, and I can't remember the name of the track because again, it's impossible to even read. But there's like a 17-minute long track where this motif is introduced earlier on, like in a faster speed. Then it goes like into ambient noise for a while, and then they reintroduce the track, like the motif, sludgy as hell on bass, and every time I hear that, it's just like, this is such a good album.
So it's your favourite?
Yeah, it is. Again, like this band just do something for me. Again, I keep on bringing up Roadburn. There's just like a commonality with a lot of the bands that I'm really into that seems to meet up with many Roadburn ready acts, and they are unique. I don't know any band quite like them. I'm glad that they're about. Like they're not all that popular, and they kind of deserve it. I feel like they seem very committed to what they do. They seem to be very sincere what they do. I don't see many interviews with them. They don't seem to be about like getting any popularity as such. Like they just seem to be really intent on writing some fucking banging mental music.
Cool.
Again, another band that, based on their name, I've just not checked out.
It's like like you're doing yourself a disservice because they're so good. Like they do so many things that I just wish I could. They're one of those bands where like when they release an album, there's so many times in an album that I'm just like, fucking hell, like, oh, that's so cool. I wish I could have come up with that. I wish I could have done that. Oh, you know, oh. It's not. None of it's not a display of like virtuoso playing. It's all very kind of like achievable for us, sort of thing. But it's just right.
Done in a way that
just clicks me. It's like I wouldn't say it's strictly black metal. Again, I say it's more like just psychedelic. It's closer to psychedelic rock than black metal in a way. It's just like it's got distortion and growls. There's barely any blast beats anymore. I don't think there necessarily are any blast beats on this album.
I'll be into that.
See?
Get into it. Like this album's particularly dark for them, but that's not a bad thing. And for the sort of Swans bands, Killing Joke, they've got similarities to them without. They're not like, you don't listen to them thinking like, hang on, why doesn't this sound exactly like Swans or Killing Joke? Just the energy behind them.
Right.
Nice.
I see.
Well, that went on pretty long, so
I'm just going to churn out these.
yeah, I reckon just maybe like one sentence at the most for your. We're going to do 5.
I know the disappointing album of the year.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll do 5 honourable mentions, but keep it short.
Yeah, I'm just going to say the names.
Yep.
Yeah. Soft Hair. Didn't quite make the cut of the top 10, but yeah, everyone should listen to that.
Wimp.
Preoccupations. A couple of self-titles there. A band formerly known as Viet Cong. Well worth checking out.
Wait, what? Viet Cong have changed names again?
Yeah, Preoccupations they're now called. And
shit, wasn't that because there was some complaints about like being called Viet Cong?
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Not a band name that stands out really now, though.
Yeah, you think all
It
those
seems
joke death metal bands.
Yeah, it's daft, but then again, like maybe it is easier to just be like, fuck it, like just
Yeah, let's just make music.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of a departure from Viet Cong.
Oh,
and
shit, should've got
a
on
lot
that.
more like post-punk influences.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimate Painting, Dusk, very good. A little bit too mellow to make the cut, but for what it is, I really like it. The OCs, A Weird Exits.
I've got to say,
you were loving that earlier this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you showed me them, and didn't they release 2 this year?
Yeah.
Both really good.
Yeah, double album, I think. That's a really good counterpart to A Weird Exits. But yeah, A Weird Exits was going to be in my top 10, but it was Pip to the Post by King, Gizzard, Lizard, Wizard. Just mainly because thematically that one resonates with me more. But fuck me, this one's the OC's Weird Exits, awesome, really good.
Nice.
And Riley Walker, Golden Sings That Have Been Sung. Like really loose, jammy.
Golden
folk.
Sings.
Golden Sings That Have Been Sung.
Right.
Really loose, jammy folk rock.
Sweet.
I'm done.
All right.
Signing
My
You'll be all
five.
done.
My 5 honourable mentions. Planes Mistaken for Stars. They were away for years and years. Came back and sick. The B side is really amazing. A side not quite up to it, so that's why it only landed in my honourable mentions. Self Defence Family Colicky. Great.
How'd you spell that?
Colicky, I think.
CKY.
Yeah.
That's not the record store day thing I bought you for insane amounts of money.
I was going to say, yeah, because that should be in your top 10 then.
No. No, it's my favourite thing they did this year, but it's only 4 songs, so I couldn't put it above other stuff. But yeah, I'll come back to that record in a minute for one of our other categories. Swain, Long Dark Blue or something. Never really listened to them before this year, but very good.
Lots of hype around that one.
Yeah, I guess they're kind of copying Ceremony in the sort of
What are they called
mellowing
again?
out. Swain. They
What
used to be. Shit, what do they used to be
It's
called?
not. It's not Full of Hell. That's what's in my head. But it's like
This Routine is Hell. They used to
Yeah.
be called. But very good. Funerals, Wounds. Great records.
not made your lit top 10 this year though.
Didn't make my top 10 because
Their first
They-
album made it, and you get one.
the first album was fucking brilliant. But no, this one, I think the vinyl pressing is a little bit off, and I just never really got around to listening to it on digital. But on vinyl, it didn't sound great. Maybe it's just my setup; it's not great for it. Yeah, and then finally, Dive, DIIV,
Div.
that band.
Oh, was that this year?
That was this year.
That was
yeah,
really good.
Yeah, really great records.
Oh shit! I need to
but
readjust
just-
my list.
But for me, way too long. I kind of every time I'm really loving it, and then get to about track 8 and just kind of think, I'll listen to something else. But really, really good. I'm
So
sure after track 8 is also very good. But
Yeah, I'm going to say, so basically it's an album for people with an attention span greater than that of a 5-year-old. So, my list. Yeah, no, my 5 honourable mentions. This is where I become scum boy number 1. I have to do a Truthseeker mention, because frankly, Pale Horse's Looking Wet in Public was... it blew my mind that we got to release Pale Horse. That is a highlight of the year, because it was like, it just didn't seem like it was going to happen. And like in terms of like, in just like, really would they want us to release it? And they did. And you can hear I'm somewhat speechless.
yeah, I'm really glad we got to release that, and I'm glad we got to they asked for a couple of extra things that we were a bit on the fence about, like the lock groove at the end is sick.
I can sleep soundly at night knowing that really tripped someone out.
Did it?
It must have.
Oh right, okay.
their audience, I bet, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm a Pale Horse fan, and so as a fan, releasing one of their albums, and possibly their best even, because it's not got so much like what some would call filler. I really enjoyed the kind of ambient noise sort of things they did, but it's like almost like riff heaven for them comparatively. And The Shower and Lambs to the Laughter, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
They're my favourite songs of theirs now,
Great.
easily. That's one. So fuck.
You need to speed through the rest of your list.
This thing, I've got loads that like I've been honourable mentions. I guess the second one actually has to be like, this is one I came across recently. It's a Hong Kong like death black metal release by Karma Cypher, Necroracle. I think that's how you pronounce it, Necroracle, and it's very much this sort of reminiscent of the Ulcerate Gorguts, Death Spell Omega, dissonant, angular sort of black death metal, but it's by like, again, it's Hong Kong, and they're from Hong Kong, and they're quite young, and it's impressive that they've written such a.
It's a long sentence, isn't it?
Only made longer by you dragging it out. Yeah, no, it's just a really impressive first release. It doesn't make the list in part because it feels a little derivative, but it's clearly influenced by Esoteric and Gorguts, and it's impressive to say the least. Virus, Memento Collider. I fucking love Virus. It's kind of like avant rock. It's really kind of almost like poppy at points, but in the most horribly dissonant of ways. It hasn't made the list because whilst it does do some new things, it's just very similar to like the last 3 albums that have gone before, and like I've loved all of them. I still love this. It's just like there's some that have kind of caught my attention far more. Woad, another Broken Limbs recordings, and a Church of Fuck release, and that is just some really, really competent UK black metal. It's not like the most innovative stuff. It's solid songwriting, and I feel like the songwriting follows a natural flow, and I really liked it. It's if you want some bang-on black metal, you can do yourself well there. How many have I done? I think 3.
You got one more.
Oh, I've done 4 then.
Yeah, one more.
Oh, fuck me. I don't know who to go for. Fuck it, Death Spell Omega. Like that is probably the one I listen to the most. It's an EP, but it's fucking Death Spell Omega, the Synergy of Molten Bones. And yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Mate, if you've heard Death Spell Omega, I'm fucking into that shit. I like all that kind of esoteric, creepy, satanic shit, and it's intense, and it takes you all sorts of places. The vocals are just like some of the most versatile metal vocals, and I'm just kind of speechless by bands like Death Spell Omega. It feels like Dark Souls in a band. It's really challenging, it's really rewarding, and it sets just the perfect atmosphere that just draws me in and engrosses me.
Nice. Best song? Are we happy to do a best song of the year?
Yeah, I think again, like, Burn the Witch has to be up there.
Yeah,
that's a song because at work, it's played on the radio station at work, and like every time I hear it, I still love it. It's just that's a song that really has kind of been a big part of the year. Not necessarily the greatest song, but it's definitely up there.
That's your selection, is it?
It's definitely up there. Nick Birch, again, like some of the stuff of his, like has been the soundtrack to walking around a lot of the time, just doing day-to-day stuff. It's soundtracked a lot of my life this year.
Nice.
But so has a lot of fucking just noise and old albums, so you can't really include them.
My favourite song of the year is Self Defense Family with the song Brittany Murphy in 8 Mile. It's from the Colicky EP, and it's basically takes up the whole of the last side, the whole side of the B side of the record. Just great, yeah. That record nearly made it into my top 10 of the year just based on that one song. It's great. They're a band that make some interesting decisions at times. Sometimes they hit, sometimes they miss, but this one really hit for me. I think it's
Bully Boy numero uno.
Yeah, you'll like if you like the sound of drums, you'll like it.
Good. Love drums.
No idea.
No.
Best what can it be off the list?
Oh yeah, I chose fucking Radiohead and it wasn't on my list.
Full stop then off the Moonshaped Pool.
how unique we are. Just Radiohead.
Yeah, Radiohead.
Well, no, again, it's
there's
a
so
fucking
many good songs. You know what I mean?
I think that
It's
is
hard.
my favourite song of theirs off the record.
Full stop.
Full stop.
It's
Yeah.
full on kraut.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
Again, I think part of the reason why I wouldn't choose, I'd probably choose Burn the Witch over that is just because I feel Burn the Witch like satisfies better. Like again, like just full stop. Just does it if it kicked in that little bit more, like just got that bit heavier or noisier, I'd just be like, yeah, full stop.
Sweet.
But Burn the Witch is just a bit more compact and
cool. And then I've got 2 more categories that I've got. I don't know if anyone else has got any. I've got best gig and biggest disappointment. So, any preference for which one of those we do first?
gig. I'm trying to remember what gigs we've been to
What?
this year.
Have a look through your Facebook events.
Oh, Holy War 10.
You reckon Holy War 10?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fucking well good day. So
Even though you missed half of it because of Kurt Phillips.
I didn't miss half of it. I missed like a band.
Okay. Oh, you missed Hang the Bastard.
Yeah, and no offence, wasn't bothered.
Best gig?
Yeah.
Floating Points.
What's that?
It's a band.
Okay.
well done.
Yeah, it's Floating Points.
No! Akakoka. Sorry, I completely interrupted. I have to stop that because Akakoka was the gig of the year.
What, the one in Manchester or London?
Both of them. But no, especially the London gig because they did the longer set and that is one of the best things of the year.
Alright.
Sorry, Phil. There you go. Floating Points.
Yeah, Floating Points. Enough said, really. If you've heard of them.
What was so special about it?
Fucking hell, the musicianship.
Yeah.
My word.
What sort of setup is it?
You know Floating Points, right?
Not really. Like
Yeah.
I've heard them.
Right.
I've never seen them.
Man, it's just this guy is like controlling it. The guy who plays the synths.
So it's a one-man thing.
No, it's God. There's loads of them. Just watch some live videos, man. They're insane.
I'm asking you now.
Well, yeah, I don't really remember a lot of it, but
It's a very synthy band.
yeah. No, he's like really. Just think like a really. I think bonobo, but a bit more jazzy and more notes. But really like pleasant, really pleasant.
Not wanky with it.
Yeah, I thought I spent the whole time with my jaw to the floor just because it was this like, we're not worthy kind of thing. It was a pleasure to be there.
Nice. For me, my gig of the year is Converge Blood Moon.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, I mean,
Converge?
I've seen Converge at least 10 times, and every time they're amazing. But this was just really special, just to see.
Did Chelsea Wolfe get involved? Didn't
Yeah, so the singer of Chelsea Wolfe and one of the other people in the
she? Cave
band.
in, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Steve
and Steve
Brodsky
Brodsky played. Somebody else from Chelsea Wolfe was playing as well. Yeah, just amazing to see them play songs that I never would have thought I'd see them play ever.
It's full
And
of
also,
fans.
and also like just taking apart songs and redoing them. The only one song I felt that didn't work was Last Light. Like it didn't have the urgency that the original track had, but everything else was just.
They did the Cure cover, right?
They did Disintegration, which is one of my favourite. Well, I think it's one of the few songs where I feel like a cover is better than the original, and I didn't think I'd ever get to see that live, and yeah, fucking brilliant.
I didn't go.
Yeah, but did they blast for Satan?
No.
No. So that's definitely a worse gig.
I heard some people at the show like, oh, this is the first time I've ever seen Converge, and I think it would have been weird if it was the first time I'd ever seen them. But I'm so happy that they did it, and especially it's like their last few Converge records I've felt like I've not enjoyed so much because they've had so many people contributing outside the band, and I feel like I don't want their input, I want it to stay as the band. But actually seeing some of those songs where they have worked with other people like actually coming together was pretty sick.
What was the last one? Biggest disappointment?
Biggest disappointment of the year.
What, like just anything?
Record.
Oh, if it's records, I know.
Yeah?
Terra Tenebrosa, The Reverses.
Why is that?
I fucking loved their debut. Their second album was good, really good. Not quite the same quality. And this one, it's just kind of lost it now for me. Like, it sounds... The first album was, again, it was one of those things where it just had this very chaotic, esoteric nature where it just... It just almost makes me feel that thing of like, it doesn't sound like it's coming from a band, it almost sounds like it's coming up natural, like it's like pouring out, like seeping out of the earth sort of thing. I can get like some magical sort of childish imagination behind the band, and it makes me feel all like, as I say, engrossed in that band. And like the reverse is kind of just sounds. It's got too many guest spots.
Yeah.
It's got too many. It just feels like. It feels almost like it's going through the motions a bit. It doesn't feel like it's necessarily the most sincere kind of extrapolation of what the guy is feeling inside. It sounds like a bunch of songs with a bunch of different, like a bunch of his mates on them.
Okay.
It just doesn't conjure up that same sort of.
It's disappointing then.
Yeah, no, it really was, because again, it's like this is basically the new Breach in a way, and I love me some Breach, and if Breach me fail, me cry.
Right.
Okay. My biggest disappointment of the year is Moose Blood, Blush.
Well, that's just a disappointment as a band. Harsh or not, I'm just not into them. That's the way it is.
I mean, I was so into that debut EP.
The 7-inch.
Yeah,
that's great.
Is it Coming Home? No,
Moving Home.
Moving Home. And then their first album, I think we had a discussion at the time where we felt like it was really overproduced and just really polished, and it kind of lost a little bit of the kind of gritty edge that they
But
had.
it has bagged them lots of adoring fans.
But it was full of bangers, so I was a big fan of the album still. But this record, I think this is a weird thing to pick up an album on, but I think it's the mastering has fucked this record for me, because between it feels like every single song, it may be like half of the record, but at least half the record. Between every track, there's about 5 to 10 seconds of silence before the next track begins, and it just kills the flow. I can't get into it at all. It's just
So what? The songs aren't necessarily bad.
I couldn't tell you because I didn't want to listen to it again. It just annoyed me so much that it was so stop-start.
The thing is, I think that's in part with Terra Tenebrosa what's happened with me. Like, I listened like twice and I was just like, what?
Yeah, so I don't even know if on digital if it's not like that. Maybe
It's like,
maybe it's
the
just the
best.
vinyl mastering.
Yeah.
Who knows? Either way,
I was
I'm
very
done.
perturbed. I wrote a letter to them and I said, "Excuse me, Mr. M. Blood."
But maybe that's not the right approach to have. But
Fuck it, they're Moose Blood and they're crap. Slash, like, they're obviously doing really well compared to.
yeah,
us.
they've been touring America a bunch and do a tour of
That is-
Australia soon.
That
so
is the dream.
I mean,
Like,
for
it would be
for a-
preferable to do it playing good music.
I was really pleased to see a band that is pretty local doing that well, but that record's not done it for me. So that's it.
I
bands.
agree with you though. From the 7-inch to now, it's no.
But what is your
Not a fan.
disappointment of the year?
Mine,
Yeah.
Bon Iver 22.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, no.
GOD.
That is that's an uncontroversial one, isn't it?
I didn't make it to the end of the record.
I haven't listened to it.
It had so much hype.
That's part of the reason why I didn't listen to it. I was just like, it's
But
such a big
but
deal already.
The people's opinions overtook the hype in the sense that people were calling it the next Kid A when it was just a Bon Iver album with
Electronic.
other effects. Do you know what I mean? Like,
See, my flatmate Tom really loves it.
I suppose it's going to be like Marmite, isn't it? But
and
it's just too
Salty.
so I've tried to listen to it a couple of times, and he's had it on in the flat a couple of times as well. And his like angle of coming at it, he really likes the production and what they've done with the production.
Yeah.
Whereas I just feel like the songs are a bit wank.
I think the production's far too. It's got no substance for me. It's too clinical and clean, and for anyone to call it Bon Iver's Kid A, just needs to shut up.
Sounds a bit like potentially shallow. Yeah, like I heard
It's
a
too much-
track
too
from
much
it, and it's
hype.
like,
Well, you could listen to a track and one of the tracks and think, oh, this is no different from any Bon Iver album, and then listen to another one and be like, oh, this is no different from any other Bon Iver album. Only they've
Whacked on
literally
some
just
beats.
done a load of stuff that makes it sound worse.
Sounds exactly like their old stuff, but crap. Okay.
Sorry, because I do really like Bon Iver, but that was I tried and I tried and I tried. I've listened to it so many times, and
you can't get no
I
satisfaction.
can't get any satisfaction just because how are you meant to think it's good in the first place? I don't know.
To be honest, I never like. It's not bad, but never got on the Bon Iver hype. I was always much more into Fleet Foxes and that sort of realm of things.
Right, it's a wrap.
Any other categories we want to cover?
We've got to be in the 2-hour territory, haven't we?
We're pushing it. I thought maybe, because that's a bit of a downer to end on, maybe we should just do like a quick summary of what we're doing next year.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for supporting the label.
And onwards to 2017. What have we got in store, Alex? Give them a little gist.
So hopefully you've seen already the Oak EP is on pre-order. That's going to be coming out at the end of January. Also, at the end of January, we're going to be launching pre-orders for the new Regurgitate Life album, which, if you like death metal and those pick scrape sounds what Gojira do, then you'll enjoy it.
For fans of death, Akakaka, ulcerate, immolation, you're going to be set.
So we got that, which is fucking great. We got the new EP from Human Future.
Who are they?
Who are they?
Who
Indeed.
are those charming young chaps?
So that'll be coming out as well, kind of early next year.
As we write this, record this, I mean, it's being mixed.
Lewis John's currently mixing it. He's doing a lovely job. What else we got? We've got the new, the debut. Great, the debut album from Howls, which is very exciting.
A little bit tasty, you may say. We've seen these guys live a bunch of times. If you've been lucky enough to see them, 1, they put out some lovely t-shirts. 2, they fucking rock the shit out of the place.
Yeah, I think there's just something really exciting about seeing a 3-piece band play anyway, but they
just be tight on it and just like, they seem so excited to play each time I see them. They just seem like they're fucking like just up for it and just like willingly throw themselves through a window just for rock and or roll. Yeah,
they're a really great band, so I'm really excited for that one. And we will have some more stuff that we will...
Do we have anything else lined up? Who knows? We'll find out. You what?
Yeah, we covered that one, mate.
Okay. Thanks for the belated input.
So, thanks very much, and we'll see you next year.
Excelsior!
Fuck Trump.